I had to stop it because I was messing with my underwear, and I don't want to be violated by, uh, the YouTube or anything like that. So I'll do the part one, part two, part three, part four, whatever. If you have the time to listen, I pray to God that someone dedicates their time to look at all of my videos, to understand what's going on, to look past my distress, to look past my anger, to look past the belligerent, the cursing and stuff that I did at times, to just really feel my pain, to understand what's going on. And that's why I need to put out my biography and things about my life, and people is trying to distract me from doing that. You know what I'm saying? And then trying to get upset when I'm sitting there focusing on my case. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way people gonna understand why I was so angry. Um, but I understand this is gonna have to take God. The Lord is gonna have to do it. He's gonna have to vindicate me, and I have to give it to Him. I looked up women who were small, and I've seen women who were very small as well. So that gave me hope. But mostly it's been God giving me the hope. Um, when I was at the Wilcox, he had brought me back to his house after I had been in several people's house after Beverly Raoul and them had conspired to have me out of her home with my suitcase. I had a pink suitcase at first. And the Lord had showed me a vision of her conspiring to have me put out of her home with my suitcase, and then there was all these black men in the garage, and they was fighting over me and my suitcase being in their car. So I didn't know what that meant, but the garage was symbolic for their vehicles, because when they put me out with my suitcase, all of them started swarming around me to see which one of them could come to pick me up first. And then so they was picking me up with my suitcase and bringing me into their homes. And then they was bringing me the tampered food and trying to, give me drugs and, trying to, have me in there just smoking and, like all of that kind of stuff. And then pretend like they didn't know what was going on, and then try to argue with me down and fight with me about what they did to me in the jail. And so, and about not giving me my child. So basically when I ended up going back to James' house because I was about to leave a man's home. Zion Hubbard's uncle had picked me up. There were several people that picked me up after I left Beverly Raoul's house, and they was all swarming around me. I didn't have no money or nowhere to go, and they was picking me up with my suitcase, bringing me into their house, and this is what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? They either tried to fight me, they was forcing me to go to the strip club, they was starving me, or they was deliberately poisoning me. And so it was so treacherous that I was finna leave the man. I was finna, leave Zion Hubbard's uncle. And then James Harris called me to come to the Wilcox after he bonded out for pulling a gun out on me. And he was saying he was sorry and stuff like that. And I had been sexually active with him, and I thought he loved me. And I didn't know how deeply he was involved with trying to harm us. So I had trusted him and went back over there. And when I did, he was trying to do stuff to me in the house to get me to start yelling and screaming and crying or whatever, to try to make it seem like I was causing some sort of disturbance. And so I remember I kept my cool, and we supposedly worked it out, and I fell asleep. And when I fell asleep, the Most High came over me, and he was praying in tongues, and it scared me because I had never heard, I think I might have heard God do that before, like one time, but I know when he does that, that means a lot of time I'm in grave danger. And so when he did it, he just came over me and started speaking, I guess, I don't know if it was Hebrew but it was in tongues. He was praying for me in the spirit, and it was God. And so I was like, I was scared, I'm like, why is God doing this? And when he prayed it, it was so powerful, because I don't know if y'all ever heard somebody very anointed pray. You could feel the chills. You could feel like the spirit, you know what I'm saying? And when he did that, I was asleep on the air mattress like this because I had wanted him to buy me an actual bed so that we could be comfortable. And he pulled the gun out on me that day. Because I was like, I'm gonna leave, I'll try to get me a hotel because they had me sleeping on like piles of covers and stuff on like a bunk reel, and it was very uncomfortable for me to sleep that way. So when I was saying I'll buy the mattress, he started belittling me and in front of his family, and it was just crazy. So at her house at Beverly Raoul's home, that was where he pulled the gun and got arrested. But at the Wilcox, that was the apartment we got. So we were supposed to be moving into the apartment that day when he pulled the gun on me. And so I had come back after he bonded out, and he had called me back because I called him because I didn't have anybody, and they was out there trying to take advantage of me. And so, but that was all a part of the plot. And I didn't understand what the Lord was showing me when he was like, Beverly Raoul finna have you out on the streets, and then all these dudes finna be fighting over you. And he showed my suitcase in that car, and he showed me going and getting my suitcase up out of that car, and so oh goodness, I need to sit down. Ooh, holding my legs straight together. I know, see, that's ridiculous. I know, and it was like people gonna be looking at her thinking that she's lying, because there are women who are very fat. I don't mean to say fat, Lord forgive me, but they have a little extra weight around the tummy, and I had that before too, so I understand what it looks like. But I showed y'all, what it was, and y'all see what it is. So it's up to you if you want to do the right thing, or if you want to join the crowd, you know what I'm saying, and do some wickedness, because God said he's going to punish people for that. But anyway, we're not going to focus on that. So I was lying down, and the Most High was praying over me while I was at James's, at the Wilcox, and I was sleeping like that, and I was on the air mattress, and it was very uncomfortable because it kept letting out, all the air kept letting out, and then it would be like I was on the hard floor, and I was laying on it, and he was gone. He kept saying he was gone, coming back, and he wasn't, and he was leaving and conspiring against me with other people, and then he was coming back and doing this stuff, and then trying to conspire. I'm really hungry, and then conspiring and everything, and the Most High was praying over me, y'all, and he did not want me to be comfortable there, he didn't want me, I don't know if he didn't want me to be comfortable, but he didn't want me to just be laying there and not know what they was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So, because I was trusting him, and I was crying, and I wasn't understanding why he was treating me like that. I'm like, I really love this man, and he's over here treating me like this, and I had a few videos about that. I don't know if I still got them or if I erased them or whatever. But I was like, I really love this man, and I was showing, and he could see it, and he was feeling it, and then he was holding his head down, and because I don't know if he was ashamed or whatever, but, he had the charge, but I don't know what they did with the charge. But I was praying that day, Jehovah, don't let them arrest me, because he pulled out a gun on me, and the police was like, she wasn't loud like that for you to be doing that. Like, I done got into it with my wife, la la la, and I ain't about to go pull out no gun on her and cock the gun on her just because me and my wife get into a heated conversation. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Well, just eat what you're gonna eat. Save it for me, and I'm gonna make some rice. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You buy some in there? Or something in there? I ain't buy it all. There's a bag in there.
A bag of that?
Yes? Yeah.
But okay. Well, I'm weak.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't eaten. I'm really weak. That's why when you be asking me to cook, like, I be already weak.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get something.
Because I'm very active. Like, anybody will tell you I'm active, but if I don't eat like that, then I get real weak. And yeah, because I got headache and everything. Okay. So,
you fool too. That's good. Hot.
They look like chicken fingers.
That's big.
Okay, thank you. So, basically, the Most High, like, when I was laying down, he did not want me to feel he didn't want me to just be laying there, and not know what was going on. Because I was crying, like, he'll leave me in the house by myself, and then he'll be plotting with other people outside the house, and then coming back and being really mean to me. And so, I was laying down, and supposedly he had buttered me up and told me he'll be back or whatever. And I was laying down. And you know how it is, women, when a man is trying to be with you sexually, but he don't want to do nothing for you, and then he want to try to throw you out on the streets all buck wild or whatever. Yeah, so that's what he was trying to do. So I'd be like, you're gonna have to give me some money. You're gonna have to do something for me. If I'm gonna be your woman and be all up in here doing whatever you want me to do, you're gonna have to make sure that I have my needs met, accordingly, because they'll go out and blow it on prostitute, they're la 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 la. But then when you with a woman and you don't want to do nothing for her, and then throwing her out all buck wild and everything. So, he was looking out for me, but he didn't really want to. But then it was like he was doing it with me, but he didn't really want to do it with me. So it was like, well, what'd you bring me here for? And then he was trying to like plot on me and get me to act all crazy or whatever. And then it's like when he couldn't do that, then he wanted to throw me out. And then that's when LaMarcus Sanders picked me up. And there was a whole bunch of men swarming around me that night too, when he was conspiring to have me put out. So I was laying down on the mattress, and the Most High started praying over me. And I mean, y'all, I was in the vision. I was in the spirits. I ain't gonna keep saying visions, because it's not visions, just visions. So there are visions, there are dreams, but there are also spiritual encounters. It's like when you walking in the spirit. So right now I'm walking in the physical. You know what I'm saying? But you have the spirit as well, and we walk in the spirit as well. So when I'm in the spirit and I'm walking in the spirit, I'm in the spirit. So I was asleep, but the Lord woke me up in the spirit, and my body was still lying down asleep yet. But I don't know how he did that, because my body could have been up somewhere, because God can take you and pick you up and put you somewhere and put you right back to bed, and you wake up not even knowing that he done had you in a whole nother ozone. So, but God has the power to do that. And so I was in the spirit. And if I'm in the spirit, I can feel everything. And that's another thing that I want to warn people about in the spirit realm. People think when you die, you can't feel nothing. No, God said there is a second death. There is a second death. You got the first death, which is the death of the spirit. Which is the death of the physical body. But then you got the second death, and that's the spirit. And the spirit was never created to be destroyed, because that comes from God and it live forever. So when God said that his spirit was not gonna continue with man all them years, because they used to live to be 900 years longer than that, so he made the lifespan of man lesser to like 125, and we don't even live to be that old because of our flesh, but in the spirit it was never meant to die, and we're gonna live forever with Christ. So you can feel, you can taste in the spirit, you can eat food in the spirit, you can make love in the spirit, you can do anything in the spirit. God have all of these. He can have everything he wants in the spirit. So just because it's spirit don't mean that you don't have all of this in the spirit. You have much more in the spirit than you actually have in the physical. That's something that I had to learn. Everything is better in the spirit than in the physical, honestly. And you don't die. We weren't meant to die in the spirit. So we really wasn't probably meant to die in the flesh, but in the spirit we're not meant to die, and he give us his Holy Spirit. So that's the part about where God have to destroy. He have to destroy people, not necessarily people, but he have to destroy the wicked, you know what I'm saying, in the second death. So that's the second death, and you can feel, because he said there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So you're gonna be, if somebody goes to die the second death by the hand of the Lord, and we can only die the second death by his hand. So he said, don't be afraid of who can kill the body. You know what I'm saying? Be afraid of the one who can kill the body and the soul in hell. You know, so yes, people can hurt my body and everything, and we can harm one another in the flesh and things like that, but I can't touch your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can try to hurt you in the spirit, but Jesus can protect your spirit. People can hurt you in the spirit, but Jesus can protect you in the spirit. So somebody dying a second death is very important. So when the Lord raised me up in the spirit, when he was praying over me, he showed me outside at night and all these fiery traps around me, and that they was all stacked up on top of each other, and that no matter where I stepped, here, that it was gonna be a trap for me. And he was praying in the spirit, and then it, like, I could just feel, like, first of all, when he did it, my whole body just froze, like, while he was praying, and you could literally hear his voice, like, it was like on top of me, and it was just kind of like just coming down, like, over my whole body, and I was just like froze. And I don't even want to try to mimic how he did it, because his tongue is so fluent with praying in the spirit that I would sound ridiculous trying to do it. But it was like heaven to my ears, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like music to my ears, like, to hear him doing that for me, like, man, it's breathtaking. And so literally, like, I was just standing there, and he was doing it, and I'm gonna try to, like, envision how it was, cause I was froze while he was doing it, and then it's like his blessings was just pouring down over my body, like the words that he was saying, like, I couldn't see the words, but it was almost like you could see the words, and it was in the spirit, and it was coming down over my body, and it was just coming down, like, when he was saying it, and it just started raining down over me, the words that he was saying, and it had my body froze, and it had me, like, just like in the spirit, like, whoa. And then then he showed me crouching down, like, and I mean crouching down low like this, like I was hiding, you know what I'm saying? And then he showed people, well, he didn't really show them, but it was almost like shadow, like, because it was very dark, and they was all gathered together, and there was fiery traps, and I was like, hiding still, and he when I was hiding, I wanted to know what he said. But before I could ask him, because he told me he don't want me doing all that squatting and everything, because I'm tiny and I can't move like I'm, like I'm not. But the Lord was like, you can break it down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But you got to remember that you still pregnant. You need to don't break it down too much, but anyway, so basically, like, I wanted to know what he said, and I was crouching down, hiding, because after he was praying for me, after he got done praying in the spirit, I started crouching down, and then I believe I heard him saying a little bit more. And then so I wanted to know what he said. And like my spirit, he connect with my spirit to where if I think it, he already know what I'm thinking. If it's in my heart, he already know what's in my heart. So I was like, what you do with that fish?
It's on the stove.
Okay, so I was like, thank you.
Okay, you welcome, man.
So I had wanted to know what he said, but before I could ask him, he prayed it in words that I could understand, but I already knew when he was praying over me in the spirit, I knew it was something about protecting me from evil. That's all I really knew, like when I heard it, just the way he was saying it, like he was saying it like, like I'm about to murk something, you know what I'm saying, about what they're doing. And he was saying, and I was like, and I could just feel it, like, God, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? What you saying? And he was like, medic traps that they set for me. let them fall into it. And I was like, I wanted to know who they was, and I was looking, but he didn't show me. He just showed darkness and the fiery traps, and it was something like neighborhoods. And then he didn't show me the people. He didn't show me their face. He didn't show me their bodies. But he let me know, like, he showed me like it was enough like people involved, and it was like he didn't want me to really see or whatever, who they were. But he was letting me know, like, that you in a trap when I was at the Wilcox, with James. And then he was letting me know that that they was all over the place, that the traps for me was all over the place, and he was saying they was gonna fall into them. So since I have seen like a lot of the traps that they have set for me, basically I see why he didn't really show me, you know what I'm saying, all the people's faces or whatever, because I would have been running around screaming like a crazy lady. I probably would have been, y'all think I was looking crazy on my video? No, I probably would have been like still outside, you know what I'm saying? But he showed me escaping outside in the dark, you know, and this is what I had to do plenty of time, and I don't know how many more times I'm gonna have to do that. Man, that in itself was a lot, because I'm still trying to figure out when they gonna fall into these traps, you know what I'm saying, that they said, because it's so many people that's involved. And that's why the Lord, he let me know like it was deadly, like it was deadly traps, not that it was traps that you would be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, oh, it's just something simple that somebody trying to do something mean. No. And he had let me know since then some of the traps in the spirit what they was. So like I'll go to somebody's house, you know what I'm saying, and then he'll show me, okay, yeah, like when I was at Lily Moore's house, he was showing me like, yeah, you in a trap, you know. He already told me that they were stacked up on top of each other, you know what I'm saying, so it's pretty much nothing that I could do, you know what I'm saying. So I didn't have no choice but to go with LaMarcus, because I didn't have anywhere else to go. So and then that's just how it was, you know. And so that was a trap, and they had set that up so if I had to leave Jane's house right away in the middle of the night, and then someone else coming to scoop and picking me up, and I ain't got nowhere to go, and then they set the trap for me in Lily Moore's house. So and it was a deadly trap. And I don't really want to go into too many details about what God said, because they was doing stuff already, and I told y'all what they was doing. But the part about one of the traps that was the most deadliest was when I left, and I was considering going back, possibly to get some of my stuff or just to go back. And it was a very deadly trap. It was something that people was trying to do to have me killed. And so I guess God didn't want to show me everybody who was involved, or show me, you know, exactly what they were going to try to do, because I did survive that trap, you know what I'm saying? And I have survived plenty of them. So I was walking into the situation not really knowing exactly what they were up to and what was going down, but God knew already. So this is what's going on. And when I was over there, Marcus was trying to keep me from working on the evidence to my case, and they all was trying to gang up and plot, you know, and that's what's going on. So let me just get my Bible. Oh, Jesus. I love to read my Bible. First of all, I love to read my Bible, because I'm not finna be where they know what's going on with my body, and then it could just be like, oh, she just smoking, oh, she doing this, she doing that, or then lying about my medical report and everything. All that can hurt me so bad, you know. It's very cold outside, and I don't have anywhere to go. I can work, you know what I'm saying, but I have to have a certain kind of duty, you know what I'm saying. And then I don't really trust the situation because Judge Tracy Gilbert was trying to order to take my money and stuff, and then the amount of money that they was trying to ask to take from me would have been any amount of money that the judge would be willing to pay me. So I was trying to find other ways to, you know, make money for myself, you know what I'm saying, to where I can have money to survive. Because either way, they wanted to leave me no choice but to be out on the streets. And I understand why, because they wanted me to be falling into all of these traps and then not be able to get out of them. So everywhere that I done been to, they done fell into them traps, and then they get more and more people to try to help them so they don't have to stay in them, you know, because everybody who did stuff to me caught a charge, or they gon' catch one, you know, behind what they did to me up in their house. And see, this is why it's even more deadly, because when you got the state involved and they done committed crime, they the main ones that don't want to go down for nothing, because God said there's going to be repercussions, you know what I'm saying. And you know, usually the state just try to like, pay their way out of, you know, whatever they done did, if they do have to. But I don't really care about money, you know, stuff like that. I understand we need money in this society, but you know, when God says it's gonna be repercussions, it's probably gonna be all type of repercussions for the people who work for the state, and they not exempt to the judgment of God just because they feel like they got a certain amount of power and stuff like that. So most of the people who the state got to do stuff to me done got in trouble. Who you think they gonna put them up to it? They gonna tell on the state, you know. So the state going out their way to continue to try to get these criminals out of the trouble that they supposed to be in, because the state know that they should have been protecting me instead of trying to harm me in the first place. Like, you can blame the citizens and stuff like that got involved, but you really have to look at how the state played the part in putting these people up to the crap. I mean, putting them up to the stuff, you know. But God is saying that people, the individuals that did it, that they gonna be the ones, they gonna be punished, you know, and it is their fault as well for what they chose to do to me in their homes, you know. And there's some people, it's probably a few people that wasn't criminals that did stuff, and they have some consequences that they have to deal with as well. And some of them have money and have been established, and they feel like there's no way